Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Matthew Street. Welcome to my channel. As always, I truly appreciate you being here. And folks, I'm here to do a real quick review with you. Now, I wasn't planning on doing this review, folks, because I have to be honest. The Paul McCartney, the brand new book, 1964, Eyes of the Storm. Photographs and Reflections by Paul McCartney. Wow. Just came out not too long ago, but I have to be honest, folks. I was not going to run out and get this right away. I was going to wait and see. It's usually what I do with books of this nature is I wait till I can either be in a bookstore and go through it and see if I really like it, or perhaps I'll wait till like the prices come down a little bit and you can get it at like a wholesale club or something. You can get it like half price or whatever. So although I was excited about Paul putting out a photo book like this, of his things he actually documented during 1964, the eyes of the storm, so to speak, I usually wait and see. But I received a great surprise yesterday for Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to everyone, belated, by the way. My son and daughter-in-law gave me this book for Father's Day. Very excited about it. I was over the moon. I didn't expect it. I was so pleased and happy when they gave it to me. I couldn't thank them enough. So kind of them to do that for Father's Day. So I received the book. So I said, well, I'm a little late to the party. There's already been reviews out there. It's been out a little while. People have already talked about it. They've already shown it. But I thought I'd give my 2 cents for just a few minutes here. So I hope you'll bear with me. Let me talk about it a little bit. I'm going to give you the pros and the cons, the good and bad as I see it. And you take it for what it's worth and do what you want as far as purchasing this book. Now, let me just say right away, it's published by the Live Right Productions, I believe it's called, which is a subsidiary or something of Norton Books. And it's approximately 330 pages, including the index. So it's a really good, thick, solid book. Trying to think what else before I start with my review here. Oh, let me just say this, that the price is listed on the actual book itself for about 75 US dollars, 99 Canadian dollars. But folks, I did some research in that. You can find this thing anywhere between 45 bucks and $65, I think, if you really search for it. And it wouldn't surprise me if you waited a little bit like I was going to do. You could probably get this at like a BJ's wholesale club or one of those book wholesale clubs eventually for maybe half that, maybe in the $25 to $30 range eventually. That's my guess. What usually happens with things of this nature is that the price does drop as time goes on. So that's what I was planning on doing until I got this surprise gift yesterday. So let's talk about it a little bit. First of all, as I said, top-notch quality here. I mean, this is a real well put together binding on the book, hardcover, pages are the paper itself is quality stock paper. The photographs are printed on quality stock glossy paper. Very well put together book here. It's a rare occurrence, right? I mean, a documentation by a Beatle is one of the pros I put because it's a very rare occurrence for one of the Beatles to put out something like this. Now, Ringo has done it first, I believe. He's got a couple of photo books out there already. So maybe Paul took Ringo's lead and said, hey, let me get in on that bandwagon. I've got some photographs that I can put out to the public, so I'm going to do one of those things like Ringo did. I don't know if Paul did that, but I'm saying, Ringo did come up with the idea first and put out a photo book, and here we now have Paul doing it as well. So it is nice in that sense, but that was also one of my cons is documentation by a Beatle. I'm going to get that in 1 second here. Another pro I have is it's a very attractive piece. As I said, well quality, and because of that high quality, as a piece, as a collectible piece, if you are a Beatles collector and like to have things, different artifacts in your collection, this is really nice to add to your collection of Beatle memorabilia. Very well done. So that's a plus. There's also a limited edition signed copy, which is very nice, but that's also one of my cons, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. So you can get a limited edition actual signed copy, which I'm sure by now are completely sold out. So you can get that if you want. And also, I want to say that the essays in this book are very decent. You have decent essays and reflection by Paul McCartney himself. You have a great introduction by Jill Lepore. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name. She does a very nice job on the introduction. You have a preface by Nicholas Cullinan. He does a nice preface. And then at the end of the book, you get an afterword, or as it's called in the book, it's called Another Lens by Rosie Broadley. She does a great job as well. So out of the 330 pages, you're getting about 10% of that, maybe 35 to 40 pages that are written prose. These essays, introductions, the reflection by Paul himself takes up about 10% of this book, and obviously the rest of the photographs. So it's very nice, very well done. But some of my cons, as I said, and they're not bad cons, but I just want to be honest and upfront with you folks. One of the cons, I said one of the pros was documentation by a Beatle. Well, one of the cons is also documentation by a Beatle, because there's really no oh wow moments in this book for me anyway. I mean, yes, it's documented by Paul. So the majority of what we see here is through Paul's viewpoint, Paul's lens, as it were. And they're very nice, well done pictures by Paul showing the fans and what was going around the Beatles in the eyes of the storm, as it were. You know, pictures of his fellow Beatles, pictures of people on the periphery of the Beatles themselves, like Cynthia Lennon and Murray the K, and I could go on and on. Brian Epstein, obviously. People that were around them, Paul documents that and takes pictures of these different people. So that's a nice thing. But as I said, the con is that it's pretty standard fare. The photos Paul takes, the Beatles were such a well-documented band during this period. I mean, everybody had a lens on them. They were in the fishbowl. Everybody was surrounding them and taking pictures and talking about every little thing they did. So a lot of what Paul took images of here and captured has been captured before by other people over and over again. So great pictures, happy to have them from Paul's lens, but there's really nothing here that blew me away. It was like, oh yeah, nice pictures, great stuff, nothing bad about it, but it's been documented pretty much before in other places. So there was, like I said, no really oh wow moments here in this book as far as being documented by Paul, although nice. Okay, so I'll say that. The other thing is the cost. As I said, $75, $99 in Canada. However, you're going to be able to get this much cheaper in other outlets like Amazon or, Barnes and Noble and whatnot. I saw it online for anywhere between $45 and $60. So, don't go by the cost that's right on the book itself. You're probably going to be able to find it much cheaper somewhere else. And I would guess that within a year or so, 6 months to a year, you're going to see this thing in wholesale clubs and book wholesale clubs and other outlets for probably half of that. You'll probably be able to find it for $25, $30 eventually, maybe 35 somewhere. That's what I was waiting for anyway, to get it much cheaper down the road. But until I received that beautiful gift from my family yesterday for Father's Day. The other con, I think, is the limited edition signed copy. It was so limited and the price was so high that it kind of blocked out a lot of people who might have even thought about getting it from getting it, because, and I understand it's Paul's actual signature on, I don't know how many copies he actually did, but they sold out very quickly, very pricey. And so to get that edition was so hard to do, cost-wise, and because it was so limited. But again, I only call it a con only because it's like a lot of regular fans who probably would have loved something like that never had the opportunity to really get it because of the cost and because it went so quick. Just the way it was presented, it went fast. It was gone. So I just listed that as a con, although, maybe it's not, you wouldn't consider it that bad of a thing. But anyway, so folks, great book. Nice to have in your collection. Don't spend top dollar for it. Either wait till it comes down even further or hunt a little bit and find it online. at a cheaper cost than what the cover cost says. All in all, good book to have. I'm happy to have it. A great gift from my family. A beautiful gift because, as I said, I wasn't going to buy it right away. So I'm very excited about having it. But that's it, folks. It's like there's no real oh wow moments in it. Nice to have it, but could I have waited? Yes, I could have waited. No problem. It wouldn't have killed me not to have it right away. But thank you so much to my family for thinking of me for Father's Day and making sure I had this thing right after release. I truly appreciate it, to my son and daughter-in-law and my grandchildren for doing that for me. So anyway, folks, that's it. That's my just quick review of the new Paul McCartney 1964 Eyes of the Storm book. I'll give it a thumbs up. I'll say it's worth having, but don't pay top dollar for it. Wait till you can get it at a good price. And don't be expecting any really like knock you out moments in this book. I mean, what's documented in here is wonderful. Nice to see it. Nice to have it. But nothing that's going to really shock you or surprise you. It's pretty standard fare. Okay, folks, that's it. Thanks for being here. I appreciate watching this little review of Paul's new book. And I'll be back very soon with another video. Bye-bye.